Hallöchen, mein Name ist Julia, ich bin 34 Jahre alt, ich bin Italienerin und ich wohne seit 2023 in Berlin. Also, ich habe diese Lightspeed German Kurse gemacht, weil ich ein bisschen mehr Flüssigkeit mit dieser Sprache. Es war eine wunderbare Erfahrung. Ich hatte super nette Leute und Coach getroffen und wirklich meine Flüssigkeit ist jetzt sehr, sehr gut. Ich kann sprechen, ich kann mit den Leuten in die Stadt reden und es ist wunderbar, wirklich, weil in 3 Monaten ich könnte ein bisschen mehr Teil von meiner Stadt fühlen. Und diese Fühlung wirklich ist die beste Dinge, die ich jetzt habe, weil ich will in Deutschland bleiben und es ist sehr, sehr wichtig für mich natürlich die Möglichkeit von Reden und Sprechen und Integrieren zu haben. Also es war wirklich eine sehr schöne und auch Spaß und lustige Erfahrung und wirklich für mich, dies war die beste Kurs, die beste Sprachkurs, die ich gemacht habe.
All right, so we're sitting here now with Julia. Julia is our student who just completed our starter 12-week course, which is from pretty much zero, everything up to B1 level. So Julia, tell us a little bit more about how was the German before we have joined this course and how is that now after completion?
Thank you, Ivan, for this opportunity. I'm very happy to be able to talk about my experience with this course and to share how wonderful and useful, of course, it was for my integration process in Germany. So I started this course that I could not speak. I had already been living in Germany for a few years, and I actually already had a little bit of a basis in grammar from my studies in high school. But even with the first interview with Ivan, when he asked me to introduce myself in German, I realized that I really could not bring myself to even put a sentence together. I would get very nervous. I was so afraid of making mistakes, of sounding silly. But really, from the first class that I had in my first week, the environment within the online class, the kindness of my coach really helped me to get out of my shell. So I started talking about the things that I like, my experiences, my dreams, my job, my family, and really, it didn't really take that much time for me to be able to communicate not only with the people in my class, but also with the people that surround me in my community. Of course, now I am B1, so there's still a long way to go for me to become completely fluent in German, but it's such a wonderful and special feeling to be able to say whatever I want in German. But really being able to communicate and to just put yourself out there is a wonderful sensation. And I can see it also with the other people. When Germans see me talking, and even if I make a lot of mistake, I see that there's a lot of encouragement from the other side because there's obviously a strong willingness from my side to integrate, and that's always very well taken from the locals that surround.
Thank you for sharing that. Exactly as you just mentioned, you are able to talk about things that you like, that you feel excited to talk about. And the way we have done together is that you were learning only specific words that you actually need. So that's why you had a chance to choose the topics that you could show up in every class, in every voice message, in the phone call, and pretty much use practical words. And this way, we have a cut that curve of learning, like in traditional classes where you could spend like a year or two to reach a certain level. But here we have done it in 3 months only by choosing what is really important. Because German as a language has more than 5 million words. And of course, none of us need all that. But okay, let's study what we need. Let's use that so you can use the language because you live in Germany. You need that for daily life with your colleagues, going to shopping mall, buying something, making a phone call with a doctor. And this is also some small practice that we have done together. How did you like the practice of this, making a phone call in German, sending voice messages, the live classes? How was it for you?
So you actually mentioned, I think, what is the main strength of this program, because I've studied languages in several occasions. I've taken several language courses also in other languages. And there's always a specific structure where you learn what to say at the supermarket, and then you learn how to say things at the doctor. And I find it a little bit limiting, because maybe that's not exactly what I need at the moment, to be so specific, but to be really encouraged to talk about myself. It was really the turning point that made my brain switch in terms of, okay, I can do this, because it's more motivating to be able to talk about who you are and what you do and how you feel and your hopes, your dreams, your past, because that's actually what you talk about with the people of your life. So that's point one. Point two, when it comes to those WhatsApp calls that are actually very practical and they help you in your daily, because of course I need to know how to speak to a doctor, how to order a pizza, how to call an ambulance. That was extremely, extremely useful, because again, it's practical. So you put yourself into a real life situation, and after you do this phone call with your coach, which is a safe situation because it's still, of course, a scenario, it's not real life. It makes you really realize that you can do this. If you can do it then, why you cannot do it in real life? And that was like such a motivational booster for me. I remember, for instance, as this course was progressing, I had a lot of problems with my washing machine. It kept breaking, and it was a nightmare to call customer service in the previous months. Whereas after the second or third week, I stayed on the phone for 20 minutes with customer services. They even sold me an insurance, of course, but I mean, at least it was useful. And I was really so proud of myself, and even the lady on the phone, because I started the conversation saying, I'm sorry, my German is not so great, I'm just starting. Even her at the end was like, I don't know what you were worried about, because this was great. So really, you will see that just a little bit of practice will help you to really manage every daily life situation that, of course, is part of our life. When it comes to the voice messages, again, going back to the first part, having the possibility to talk about anything that I can think of that is close to me and being able to do it every day was really key for me to always have German in my mind. So every day you never forget that you have German, and even if you don't have classes, it's only 5 minutes at the end of the day. You do it, and in time, you see, of course, you don't immediately start thinking in German. I don't think in German yet, but I see that when I have to do when I have to say some simple sentences, or when I have to express some simple concepts, like I was doing in voice messages, I'm already translating less, because again, practice makes a treasure. Okay, so after 3 months speaking every day in German about the things that I like, really now is helping me with the now simple things, not even having to translate them, but to be able to actually just say them in German. And this is just the beginning. So really, really a very good method.
Thank you. And did you have some reactions from your colleagues? Maybe you have some German colleagues or some friends that haven't heard you speaking before. Did you have some other reactions?
So they could not believe it. So actually, so part of this course is to indeed write and think about some topics that you want to address in one topic. And I remember around week 6 or week 7, one of my topic was actually an afternoon that I had with my German-speaking friends, where we, for the first time, were able to have several conversations in German, where they looked at me and they were like, since when do you speak German? How did this happen? And of course, pride, like when you're proud of yourself, you should be proud of yourself. You should recognize the value of your work and of the practice. It's in itself such a motivational value, because it has such a motivational value because it really helps you to progress and progress. If I may add one little thing,
Yes.
you will get to a point where you start from zero and you start improving, where you feel super proud of yourself, and then you feel a little bit more confident, and then you realize that you're not there yet, and then your motivational curve goes down. that happened to me towards the 9th or 10th week, where I started from zero, I became more comfortable, and then as I was interacting more, I realized, oh my God, I have so much to, I have such a long way to go. Don't stop there. You know, it's a learning curve. Languages are difficult, integrating is difficult, but really hang in there, because practice, practice, practice. And again, I didn't even experience it as homework, because it's not homework. You talk about yourself, you talk about the things you like. So just hang in there, because we're going to get there.